Nom 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 nom, games delicious. I use OEM keys for a few different reasons. This is the price you're going to pay for Windows 11 Pro if you get a retail key. Let's check those prices on whokeys.com. $30, we can do better. Put in TS25, click apply. There we go, $23.22. Let's say you want to get a copy of Windows 10 Pro. Right now that key still unlocks Windows 11. You can get Windows 10 Home, Windows 11 Home, and we have 2 flavors of Office. If you're sick of paying that monthly subscription, well, you can get yourself an offline version of Office 2019 or Office 2016. The other thing is OEM keys are generally locked to your hardware, so if you move it from one motherboard to another, you may need to get another key, but you'll have to get many keys to equal the price of one retail key. Let's go ahead and check out with our copy of Windows 11 Pro. All right, just put in my card info. There we go. Click on View Keys and Codes. Once you get to the User Center, click on Get the Key. You'll see your key right here in the middle. Go ahead and highlight that, copy that, press Start, and then type Activate. You'll see Activation Settings. Go ahead and click on that. And then right here it says Not Active. Just click on Change Product Key. Paste in our product key, and then click on Activate. Hey, look at that, active. Head over to whokeys.com. Thanks to them for sponsoring. And now on to our regularly scheduled program. We're going to look at maybe the perfect handheld portable gaming system in this size and this price range. This is the TrimUI Brick. So what makes this so special? The build quality is ridiculous. The operating system is probably my favorite when it comes to like just portable operating systems. Doesn't run Android, and to me that's kind of a relief. Covered a lot of the Android devices, and yeah, they're really powerful for $300 or $400, maybe $500-600 for some of the crazy ones that can even play Switch games. This cannot play Switch games, but it's $80. The operating system that comes on here is Crossmix, and it's TrimUI's own operating system, but this is the modified version, and we have Crossmix, which is a lot better and has more features, more options, and some really cool stuff. We have that on here because I got this from MechDIY. They also loaded up an SD card with an awesome ROM set that doesn't have all kinds of duplicates and nonsense. It's got a really nice set of ROMs that's organized into folders. So I can say, like, if I want to go to play some Super Nintendo games, I can go in there. There's a folder for hacks. There's a folder for modern games. There's a folder for different things, or you can just browse through the regular games that are on there. All right, so it may be little, but it does pack quite a few interesting features. So we have a 3.2 inch fully laminated, whatever this is, fully laminated IPS display, 1024 by 768, which in my opinion is a bit of a weird choice for this, but I'll cover that in just a second. It only weighs 159 grams and it easily fits in your pocket. Look at this thing, it's a nice size. It's got a 3000 milliamp hour lithium battery, and it does support 5 volt 2 amp fast charging through the Type-C right there in the bottom. For the CPU, it uses the Allwinner A133P. It's 1.8 gigahertz. The GPU is a PowerVR GE 8300 at 660 megahertz. They missed it by 6, but I won't hold that against them. We've got 8 gigabytes of internal memory where they've got the OS installed, and then you have an SD card that you can load up with all kinds of stuff. One of the things I really like about the SD card, it works in Windows without any kind of nonsense because, you know, like the OS is installed separately on here. So when you pop the SD card into your computer, you've got folders all there for your different ROMs that you can just, you know, drop stuff into. You can also edit the config file for RetroArch right there on your SD card if you know what you're doing. I generally recommend against any of that. You should probably do all your editing right here inside the menu, not the advanced RetroArch menu, but just right inside here inside the TrimUI menu. But I'm going to recommend that you don't touch anything, really. This thing is made to pick up and play. It's not made to fuss with. It's not, like I said, one of those expensive Android devices or one of those other fancy devices that you can install like Rocknix and all these other things on. This is meant for simplicity. You pick it up and use it. That's kind of the beauty of it. You don't have to mess around with any of that stuff. We only have 1 gigabyte of RAM, but for a lot of the games that we're going to be playing, that's totally fine. We have 2 front-facing speakers right here. You can see them there, and they sound like garbage. They're just tinny little nonsense speakers that are there, so just use the headphone jack on the bottom. Thankfully, we do have a full-size headphone jack, and yeah. Also a mono microphone in this. The battery should last around 5 hours with most gaming. So I'm using an Xbox controller, which you can plug up. I've got a USB-C plugged into the back, and over here there's like a little dock that's made for a Steam Deck, but I use it with different Android emulation devices and whatnot, and it works just fine. It doesn't work with the HDMI out, but it does work when it comes to using an Xbox controller, and it just magically works as soon as you plug it in. There's that awesome boot logo. I don't know why I like this so much. I just get really excited every freaking time. All right, so we're gonna get into this now. Right over here, got our D-pad. This feels really good, by the way. The D-pad, it's not It's not raised up too high. Doesn't feel mushy. It's nice and poppy. I don't have a lot of false presses. Oh geez, I didn't realize I was still playing this game. Yeah, when you turn it on and turn it back off, it will bring you right back to where you were in the game. Down here we've got our home button and then our start and select buttons right there. So where's your L and R? Well, that's on the back. We'll get that in just a second. First off, I'll show you the sides and everything. Over here on the side, that's your power button, and this is your function button. You can toggle on and off, and I'll show you how that works. There, look at the back. There's our L and R. We have L1 and R1 and R2 and L2 all on the back, and we have 3 different options. And I've been neglecting mentioning that. That's the logo I use for doing game development, the Septogram. And they were nice enough to make one just for me. So that makes this a special edition. And it's very special in this red color. But also, with that awesome logo, you can go ahead and get something printed. How do you put it on there? Well, you've got the plate right here. And then you just need a Torx screwdriver, or a star screwdriver as some people call it. And you just remove all the screws right here. Lift this off, and while you're back there, you can replace the plate, and you can pick the L buttons and the R buttons that you want the most. These are the ones that I like the most, because this little triangular shape, or this little, vertical raise right here, makes it very easy for my fingers to tell what's going on and where I'm pressing. So you can use any of the ones, and it comes with a couple different options to swap from, plus the ones that are already on there, giving you 3 in total. So that's really awesome. I don't know how they did this or how they made this so solid in this price point. It's ridiculous. We've got our volume on this side. On the top, we got nothing but an LED. And then right here, I don't know if you can see that, that is USB-C, and you can plug up hubs and other things right there. Down on the bottom is our USB-C for charging. They're right there. And then we've got our SD card slot and then headphones. You can also get this awesome case right here, so you can take it with you and not worry about it getting knocked around a little bit or whatever. Slide it under there. You get the idea. It fits in there. So right now let's go through Crossmix OS. Got your favorites there you can set up. There it shows all the recent things I've been playing, and then we have a list of bests. And these are just like, different lists that they've put together. You can put together your own and get artwork for them and everything, like our Sonic collection, Mario collection, whatever. You can make your own list. See our Zelda collection. They've got it all nicely laid out in folders and stuff, so that's pretty cool. N64, a bit difficult to, play N64 games on here without the analog sticks and everything, but, whatever. You can try if you want to, or you can hook up a controller like I've got. Then we have all of our different games, and it comes with a really nice ROM set. Let me just show you, for instance, if we go in here and just take a look at like N64. See, we got all kinds of stuff in here. And then let's see here, something that may have some folders. Got all of our PlayStation games here. Sega CD games. Do you fancy them? PSP, that's probably the fanciest thing that you can play on this is PSP. Don't see any PS2 games. Whoop, look out, look out. Super Nintendo, we have folders, and it's nice that they've laid it out this way. We've got our ROM hacks right here, all kinds of different, everything, Chrono Trigger, Mario hacks and everything. Got your modern games, which are like new games. People are still making games for all of this old hardware. These will actually work on real hardware. If you like have an SD to SNES or something, you can put them in there. Others, I don't even know what's in here. ID Beholder, all kinds of stuff. Translations, a lot of these games never came out in America. Like Bahamut Lagoon is a Squaresoft game, very late in the SNES's development cycle, and we never got it here. So if you want to play it, it's also well reviewed. But, people made translations. We have the translations here. And then just have all your regular list of games right here. And it's like that with several different systems. I'll just keep scrolling through and you can see all the different systems that are on here. The one thing I want to highlight, though, is Portmaster. So let's go over and take a look at that. It's one of the things that makes the Crossmix OS so special. These are actually made for ARM hardware. Not specifically this, but, this is the list of games that should work on here. Now, not all of these are going to work. You have to try them out and just see, like some of them crash when you try to load them up and stuff, but some work okay. Let's try Celeste here. Now, this is going to be a native port, so it's not going to have the same options, it's not going to have the save states and everything like that, but it's going to be just like playing it on regular hardware because it's not emulating, it's actually been ported. So some of these will have to like run a little SH script in the background to download over the Wi-Fi, but yeah, we got this one up and running, and sure enough, I'm playing Celeste natively on this device. It's widescreen, so you're going to have the letterboxing and all that, but yeah. All right, yeah, this is working well. Looks pretty good too. Actually looks really good. Jeez, they try to kill you right off the bat in this game. Climb, I forget how to play this. Anyway, so that works just fine. With these games, Generally, to get out of them, you'll have to go back to the main menu, just like you're exiting a game on your computer or other device, and go to the exit, and then it'll reload back into the OS. So ports are pretty cool, and like I said, I go through a few more of them just to see some of the stuff you can get on here. Some of them might work, some of them might not. Like Doom 3, Fallout works. Tried this one, so you can actually go through and play Fallout. You might want to plug up a mouse and keyboard to the USB if you want to like really take advantage of that. But hey, it's cool that a lot of these things are ported over and work. Half-Life works. Tiny little screen. But yeah, you can get these working. Carry this around and a full-size keyboard and mouse so that you can play Quake. Why not? Return to Castle Wolfenstein didn't work very well, but yeah. Alright, so that's Salt and Sanctuary. Huh, didn't know that was on here. Sonic Mania. Stardew Valley. That feels weird. Give $1 to the creator. He's only made 50 million. He probably needs it. Tomb Raider 1. Huh, native port of that. That's pretty cool. Zelda 3. Native port of Link to the Past. Let's go take a look at some of the options we have here. You do have Moonlight streaming that you can stream from Linux or your Windows PC or whatever. Whatever supports Moonlight. You can change out your boot logo, and I've got a really cool boot logo. I picked like an old school BIOS boot logo. The function key right here. Now this will allow you to set just a couple options. You know, you can check mark any of these that you want to check mark. Turning off the LEDs on and off, whatever, brightness toggle, D-pad joystick toggle. And then whenever you switch the function button on the side, it will activate everything you have check marked right there. Emu Cleaner, you just run this. It'll scan all the ROMs and it'll remove any emulators that don't have any ROMs, just so you don't have all kinds of stuff cluttering your screen. Over-the-air updates, you got your ebook reader, which is pretty cool. If you don't want to play games, you can read a book. You can boot directly into RetroArch if you want to mess with stuff, but I would say do not mess with things. You can restore the settings and everything. Like you come down here to System Tools. You can go through all this here. User interface. Change your theme if you want to. Theme packs. You got your Crossmix OS. Epic Noir, that sounds cool. I like the one we got, but we got Pip-Boy themes and everything. So yeah, you can pick your favorite theme right there. Basically make the device your own. Scraper allows you to go through and scrape artwork and descriptions for all of your games so that you have proper thumbnails. This is good to do if you install a bunch of your own games. And then you got the terminal there. If you know what you're doing, you can play with that. Got NetPlay options for internet. And over here we got our settings. You can turn on your Bluetooth, hotspot, all that kind of stuff, Wi-Fi. And then again, mess with your theme right there. After you've downloaded your theme, you can pick it there. Now let's go in and show you how some of the games work in the menus. Let's go to Final Burn Neo. These are all the old arcade games, and we've got all kinds of them here. Just open up one for the hell of it, and I'll show you the in-game menu, because this is what makes this so special in my opinion, is just how easy it is to save states and everything. The select button should be the credits, your quarter. There we go. Alien versus Predator. Slightly unrealistic, just beating up this many aliens, but whatever. Let's go ahead and bring up the main menu here, or the quick menu, just by pressing the home button, which is this little button right down here on the bottom. Brings up this menu, and we can go into our save menu, and you can pick a save slot. You got 10 of them. A save slot right here, 1. There we go, saved. And you can come down to load, and see you've got 1 right there. We can load it back up, and then we've got our advanced menu right here. The advanced menu brings up this interface of RetroArch, and check this out. You can come down to the bottom here and do overrides per core, which is what I would recommend doing, and not overriding anything on the system level. But we can enable our shaders, which I have them enabled right here, but I'm going to go ahead and just load up a preset shaders, and then I'm going to go down to CRT, CRT ZFast Geo. Why not? See how this looks. Now we got ourselves some, oh geez, get away from me. There. Now we got ourselves some retro shaders going on right here. Come out of there. There are so many aliens. Look at all these sprites. You got Super Magazine. Now let's talk about the screen. You notice everything's going to the edge of the screen? Well, if I go ahead and bring up my RetroArch menu here and go to Advanced menu, the scaling is a little bit weird when you're running at 1280 by 768 or whatever the screen was. I forgot what it was already. But I want to go over here to my video menu and just show you. If I go into video and then come down to scaling and turn on integer scaling, you can see the picture's got just a little bit smaller. And so this is how I'm going to be playing most of my games, because it makes the pixels square the way they should look you know? All right, here we're taking a look at Mario is Missing Done Right, which is a ROM hack. You play as Luigi. It's a much better game than Mario is Missing. So this is what it looks like at full screen. I think it looks pretty good, especially on this small screen. It's hard to tell. So let's turn on scaling, integer scaling, and just show you what it looks like. There we go. Turn on scaling. That's how it should look. You know, we get now some boxes around the sides. If this were 1280 by 960, it would be full screen right now. So really weird choice on the resolution right here, but that's kind of the only downside to this machine. If they went for a screen that was 1280 by 960, then we could have perfect integer scaling for all games that are 240p and 480i. So it's a bit weird because in order to get the thing to be full screen, it has to be a little bit stretched. Now, at 3.2 inches, I would say most people are not going to notice that at all. You're not going to notice that the image is slightly stretched or whatever. Why am I so dark? Whatever, I like it dark. But if they just made it 1280 by 768, then the integer scaling would be perfect. You know, for 240p, that's 4x, and then you've got it. For 480i, that's 2x. With Super Nintendo and a lot of the other games like Genesis and all that stuff, if I go into my quick menu here and I go down to my latency settings, you can actually turn this on and it feels pretty good. If you want to, let's see here, we can go up here to hard GPU sync, turn that on, and then I can come down and actually do the run ahead stuff right here. There we go, run ahead latency. There we go, reduce latency. And I'm just going to do 1 frame. You can try 2, see how it works. But this will actually reduce the latency to make it feel much more like you're playing it on like the original hardware, so that when you press the jump button, it'll be more responsive. This feels a little bit like 1 frame off still. You can like go in and tune this by plugging up a keyboard and then, you know, going forward 1 frame at a time. But just know that run ahead latency does make this feel better, and you can turn that on. So basically, I like everything about this except for the resolution being a weird choice. For most of the games holding it back at a normal distance, I think I'm just going to leave the integer scaling off and play it at full screen because it's very difficult to tell that it's being stretched. And I can turn on CRT filters. And if you put on like ZFast CRT filters, it's even harder to tell, and it looks really good in my opinion. So I think for most people, that's not going to be an issue. But next time, TrimUI, 1280 by 960. Remember, that's the best thing for 480p and 240p gaming. The integer scaling will be perfect. And then you can turn on integer scaling by default and get all those nerds who say words like integer scaling way too often. So yeah, the version from MechDIY is above and beyond because you get Crossmix pre-installed, the better version of the OS. You get the cool extras, which is one thing. And then if you get the SD card from them, they have a very, very nice ROM set, which I think is good for most people. So the bottom line with this is that it's something you just pick up and use. You don't fuss with this, and that's a huge deal. Just pick it up, play your games, and be happy. Let me know what you think of this. I'll put all the links to MechDIY in the description. Be sure to go over there when you get it. It's where I got this one, and they're awesome people. So head over there and grab yours or whatever else they got that's on sale. I'll put a few links down in the description. But yeah, let me know what you think of this, and I'll see you in the comments.